Hi everyone, I'm GiGi. Thank you, Captain Obvious, because you're on GiGi Eats Celebrities right now. If you didn't know that and you don't want to be here, well then you can leave. Speaking of getting out of here, I actually went on my dream vacation. I got out of the United States and I went to Africa to embark on a safari. I specifically went to Kenya. Now, I'm pretty sure you're all thinking, dude, just drive to a zoo. There are zebras, lions, tigers, bears, whoa, oh my, over there. And you'll spend like $30 in admission as opposed to however much you spent on that African safari. Shh. I know, guys, I know. You can go and see your beloved animals at the zoo, but I needed to see giraffes in their natural habitat. There's a giraffe there, there's a giraffe there. Clearly, I'm a little obsessed with them. So yeah, I flew 19 hours and I got to Africa and I saw exactly what I wanted to see, and then some. Let's just say I never need to see a giraffe again in my entire life. The reason for my sarcasm is there are things about safaris you don't know. I'm sure all of you, when you think of a safari, you picture wearing those camo outfits with little hats, you're in a little van, bopping all around, and you see all the lions and tigers, although there are no tigers in Africa, FYI, but lions and monkeys and giraffe and zebra and hippos and blah, 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 every 5 seconds. And it's so magical, and you feel like you're in the Lion King, and you're like, dude, where's Simba? And then you're like, whoa, there's Simba right there, oh my God, and Nala, holy crap, there's Scar, oh my God, and there are hyenas, whoa, it's crazy. Is that exactly what's going through your head? Because that's definitely what was going through my head prior to embarking on this safari. And yeah, sure, it was kind of like that, as you have seen in my previous videos about what we did in Africa. That being said, there was one morning in particular where we had to wake up at 3 a.m. because we were going on a balloon safari ride. Now, I am not going to take that adventure for granted because it was really awesome. I've never been on a balloon ride before. A lot of people would kill to do it, so it was really, really cool. But when we were driving to said airfield, I guess that's what you would call it, I started compiling a little list on my phone about reasons why you should never do a safari. Let's get to that list. Reasons why you shouldn't go on a safari. Number 1, you can't handle the circle of life. Animals eat other animals. If you're not okay with those sights, if you're not okay with blood, guts, and gore, then a safari might not be the thing for you. No. If you love little baby impalas and little baby monkeys and all the cute little animals, well, guess what? Lions eat them. So, again, if you're not okay with that, you might not want to fly all the way over to Africa to go on a safari. Just saying. Because safaris are very unpredictable. Number 2, you're not a morning person. Guess what, guys? You have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning because your safari starts at 6 a.m. Animals are typically really active in the early morning hours and in the late evening hours. Those are prime time hours to see these animals. So again, if you're the type of person who wants to punch someone in the face if they try to wake you up at even say 8 a.m., you're not gonna be overly pleased about going on a safari. Number 3, big bugs creep you out. Guys, it's Africa. What do you expect? There are huge bugs everywhere. Oh my God. For some interesting reason though, I was not scared of these bugs out there. There was one night where Landon and I walked back to our tent and the light was still on in the tent. Big mistake. Because when we walked into our tent, there was bugs lining the top of our tent. Inside the tent, mind you. And we had to take our big bug spray can and literally spray the entire thing with bug spray, and all of the bugs died and fell on our bed. Ew, ew. We finally got them off of the sheets, but when we got into bed, I couldn't sleep for like an hour because I could still feel bugs falling on me. So if you're not into bugs, which really who is into bugs per se, you might not be the right fit for a safari. Just saying. Oh, and spiders? Yeah, they're like this big. Literally the size of my face. Yeah, I'm getting the heebie-jeebies. Number 4, you're the type of person who needs to shower every single single day, maybe even twice, and get primped and proper and all that kind of stuff, like putting on lashes and doing your hair and all that jazz. If you need to do that, then a safari is not gonna work for you at all. There are outlets, thank God, so we could charge our cameras. You're not allowed to use blow dryers in there. And honestly, the atmosphere that we were in made my hair blow up into a balloon anyway, so it didn't really matter if I even had a blow dryer, because it would have made absolutely no difference. Plus, the environment is ever changing, so it could rain 1 second and then be really hot the next second, and then it could be extremely windy. You just don't know. Let's just say if you decided to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to be ready for your 6 a.m. safari drive, so you could get primped and proper and whatever, you're most likely gonna look like a Picasso painting by the end of your safari trek, because everything is gonna melt off your face or get wind blown off your face, and your hair is just gonna look like a disheveled mess. So if you are the type of person that like cannot live without their blow dryer and such, then don't go on a safari. Just don't. Oh, and by the way, they only have bucket showers. So your shower is a maximum of 6 minutes and the water dribbles down on your head. So it's not a relaxing shower by any means. It's really just functional, so you feel at least slightly clean. Oh, and the water, freezing. So you're just gonna have to get over that if you wanna go on a safari. Number 5 kind of relates to number 1 in the respect that you can't handle gore. So when we were on this adventure, we actually ran into a little cow that we named Tucker Rumpleton. He looked dead. I even initially said in my video,
"It's a dead cow. It's only a matter of time before someone comes to eat it."
I was really excited because I really wanted to see it get eaten, the blood and the guts and the gore. That being said, he actually was still alive, so we went down to see this animal, and he had been attacked by a leopard, which is why he was crumpled up in a little ball stuck in the mud, because he was pretty much on his last life. And to this day, we have no clue what happened to him, because when we went to the same place he was the next day, there was no signs of him, and there was no signs of blood, no trace of any footprints, no nothing. So we literally have no clue what happened to Tucker. You're gonna see that kind of stuff. You might be driving on your safari and you see, oh wait, yeah, we actually saw a hyena that had its leg ripped open. It's nature. It's the facts of life. They don't have hospitals. There's no animal hospitals in the middle of nowhere. So you're gonna have to get over the blood and the guts if that's a problem for you and you wanna go on a safari. Long live Tucker Rumpleton. Number 6, you get car sick. When you go on an African safari, you obviously know and have probably seen on the Discovery Channel, on Netflix shows, wherever you've seen things about safaris, that they have these open top trucks. Well, yeah, so you get in one of those bad boys and you drive around looking for wildlife. There are no roads. There are no roads whatsoever. Legitimately no roads. Even when we drove into town, no roads. So let's be honest, this is what you look like in the car. That's pretty much how I felt and looked the entire time I was sitting in the back of this truck. It wasn't the most comfortable experience, but the drivers are very well versed in how to handle such road conditions that they made it as pleasurable as possible without me wanting to throw up. Granted, I don't really get car sick, so I'm a-okay. But again, if you do, then you might need to bring your anti-nausea medication if you do in fact embark on a safari. Number 7, if you're the type of person who has, quote, sticky fingers, then you should not go on a safari. What I mean by this is you can't take any of the little baby animals home. No, I don't care how cute they are. Africa doesn't care how cute they are. You are not allowed to bring them home. Oh, and if you're also one of those people who love skulls and antlers and random bones from animals, yeah, well, you can't take those either unless you want to risk going to jail. I'm not quite sure you want to be thrown in an African prison. Think about it. Take a photo, it lasts longer, and it's not something you're gonna get in trouble for. Number 8, if you're the type of person who can't live without Wi-Fi, Well, first of all, you should seek help because you're addicted, obviously. But secondly, yeah, there's no Wi-Fi on these African safaris. And even if some camps are trying to get you connected with the quote real world, if you will, so you can post a photo on Instagram, the Wi-Fi sucks. So you're gonna have to just deal with the fact that there is no Wi-Fi. You go on a safari so you can get out of your comfort zone and get out of your routine and experience something totally different. So why not put the damn phone down and enjoy it? Just be present and in the moment, because that's a rarity these days. I won't lie, I definitely tried looking for Wi-Fi every so often, but for the most part, I did a very good job of saying ignore when a Wi-Fi signal came up on my phone, because I really just wanted to be present and take photos of the elephant penis. But seriously, did you see that photo? Because hot damn. Number 9 on my list is a safari is probably not right for you if you love petting zoos. If you love to pet all the animals and cuddle up with them, well, you can't do that in Africa. No, don't even go and try and cuddle with a lion or get on a hippo and ride it around. Because guess what? Ain't gonna happen. These animals are wild. Yeah, they're wild. They don't know who you are. They don't know what you're doing. If you encroach on their territory, they're going to attack you and most likely kill you. Did you guys know that hippos are the most dangerous animal? If you get in between a hippo and water, yeah, you're In fact, we were walking back to our tent one night and our guide flashed flashlight up the hill and there was a hippo legitimately right there. I looked to Landon and said, "We're gonna die, we're gonna die." We didn't die, believe it or not, because I'm right here right now. Ha ha ha, I am not a ghost at this current moment in time. The reason why we didn't die is because the hippo was actually retreating into the hills for the night. And in the morning time, he would come back and go to the water because they spend all day in the water and night in the hills. So we got really, really lucky. Now, if you tried to attempt to pet this hippo, yeah, you'd be Number 10 on my list is, if you're the type of person who's a loner, doesn't like other people, doesn't like a community environment, then don't go on a safari, because safaris are all about the community. I had no idea, by the way. The safari camps that we stayed at were called Kicheche, and the first camp we stayed at had 6 tents, and the second one had 8. Now, depending on when you go, they're not always going to be full, but there will be other people in attendance. And when you have lunch and dinner, you have lunch and dinner with the other people who are at this camp. So you get to meet new people and you get to hear about their stories, hear what they saw, and you might even go in one of the safari trucks with them as well, depending on how many people you have in your party. I know at Kicheche, they only allowed 4 people per truck. Thus, at the first camp, we actually were sharing it with another couple. It's great. I love community environments because I love meeting new people. But if you're not that type of person, then, I mean, I'm sure they could sort of make do with it and you could just tell them your preferences and you could maybe eat your meals in your tent or whatever. But you'd probably have to pay a little extra for that. And honestly, come on. Camaraderie and meeting new people, that's always a good idea. Socializing, guys, it's healthy. It is healthy. Number 11 on my list is, if you don't like small airplanes or airplanes in general, then yeah, you're never gonna make it to your safari because you have to take a little tiny plane to the safari locations. I'm not a huge fan of flying. I actually fucking hate it. It is terrifying to me. My husband's a pilot. He always tells me, you're just a molecule of air, you're totally fine. And I'm like, dude, that doesn't help because a molecule of air everyone takes for granted. So like, people are taking me for granted and no one cares about me, gah. But then I think, everyone needs air, so everyone needs me, so I am important, haha! Yeah, my logic is on point, guys, on point. But what I really mean to say is, these little airplanes seat like 8 people, and they're bumpy, and maybe they're 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on your location. But if you're the type of person who needs a Xanax every time they fly, well, bring a Xanax or 2 with you, first of all, if you really need to go on the safari. But secondly, if you really can't handle it, then I'm going to have to tell you that safaris are probably not the thing that you are going to be able to do. You're probably just going to need to go to the local zoo in your city. Number 12 sort of relates to number 11 in the respect that if you can't handle jet lag, then don't go to Africa. Just don't. Because, whoa, the jet lag sucks. We flew from Los Angeles to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Nairobi. That was a 19-hour flight. Going back was Nairobi, Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Los Angeles. That was a 21-hour flight. Going back to Los Angeles, the jet lag wasn't so bad, although the first night I went to sleep at 6 p.m. and woke up at 2 a.m. and I was awake for the day. But going to Africa, I did not feel like a human being for at least 6 days. Like, I was having this out-of-body experience, and it wasn't because I was so excited to be in Africa on my dream vacation. Of course I was, but that was not the feeling I had. It was more like, holy shit, I can barely get up from the seat in the truck. Like, I can't move, I'm so tired, and holy crap, there's a lion over there. Like, it's just, you are exhausted. It's a great thing that during our safari from about 1:30 until 4 was free time, or AKA nap time for me, because nap time was necessary for sure. But even the naps, after the naps, you'd wake up and you'd kind of just feel groggy and you're like, oh my God, I don't feel like me. What's wrong with me? Am I sick? Do I have mono? Landon even said, I feel like I have mono. I'm like, dude, you don't have mono. This is just jet lag. It was terrible. So yeah, jet lag is a bitch, but as I said, after 6 days or so, I was okay. That being said, depending on how long your safari is, it might only be 3 days, and then you're like, wow, I feel like shit this entire experience. So if you do go on a safari, I recommend that you go long enough to get acclimated to the time change. Number 13 on my list is, unless you have a death wish and you want your obituary to say eaten by a lion or killed by a hippo, you are not allowed to walk around alone. And you're really just not allowed to walk around much at all. The first camp we went to actually had an electric fence, so there was a tiny bit of a perimeter that we could take walks on if we wanted to stretch our legs. But at the second camp, there were no electric fences, thus hippos, lions, gazelles, African buffalo, giraffes, monkeys, whatever. They could all come to our camp and do whatever they wanted. I mean, we stayed at the last tent in the second camp, and a lot of monkeys kept trying to break into our tent. So we actually had to padlock it closed because monkeys are smart enough to unzip, go in, take your stuff. We actually heard a story where the lingerie of someone was scattered all over the front of their tent, which is actually kind of funny. I think it would have been really funny if the monkey actually put some on, but I don't think that happened. In my brain it did, because that sounds hysterical to me. That being said, walking alone, not an option. We actually had to be chaperoned to and from our tent in the early morning hours and then in the late evening hours when it was dark, because the animals, as I said earlier in this video, their prime time is early morning and late night because they like the darkness, because it's a lot colder in Africa. That's something else. It's really hot during the day and really, really cold at night. Bring a sweater and bring a tank top. That's it. That's my packing advice for you. That's just a bonus in this video. Now, my last reason as to why you should not go on a safari is, if you're the type of person who has zero patience, you're gonna get so bored so easily. Yeah, I will admit, I was bored for a lot of this safari. You drive around for 10 hours or so a day. Animals are not constantly throwing themselves at you saying, look at me, look at me. It's not anything like Los Angeles, that's for damn sure. Ha ha. No, actually, the animals typically during the day, they're hiding in the bushes. And at night, it is kind of hard to see some animals. You'll see maybe a little bit more, but again, it's all about patience. It's all about driving to the right location, which your driver knows where those are because they've been doing it for so long. But again, patience is necessary. I definitely recall Landon and I looking at each other going, oh my God, we have to be in this van like another 3 hours. There's literally nothing. I've seen every zebra in Africa, every single one of them. because there are tons of zebras and tons of wildebeest, just saying. So yeah, that is my long ass list of why you should not go on a safari. That being said, perhaps you could actually look at this list in a different light. You could look at this list and think to yourself that you actually should go on a safari because it gets you out of your comfort zone. I know for a fact that a few of the reasons I listed as to why you shouldn't go on a safari were reasons that were holding me back initially from going at all. Okay guys, no, but seriously, there was really only one reason why I didn't think I could go on a safari. It was because I wanted to take home a baby giraffe real bad. So that's it, guys. Do let me know in the comments below if I changed your mind about safaris, if you still want to go on one, or if you'd rather go to the zoo. Also, if you have been on a safari and I missed something on this list, do let me know in the comments below what you think another reason why people shouldn't go on a safari is. Asante sana for watching my video, everybody. Can you guess what that means in Swahili? I do hope that I didn't bore you to death like some moments in my African safari. I also really hope you guys don't think I'm a bitch, because I'm not trying to be a bitch at all, as I truly appreciate absolutely every moment of my safari. It just wasn't necessarily my favorite travel experience. As I said in my other videos, Kicheche Camps, whoa. Amazing. If I were to ever go on another safari, I would definitely use that company because they are so good, so accommodating, and the food was delicious. But there were just more aspects of the safari that I didn't necessarily like versus the aspects that I did like. So there you have it. And I'll hopefully see you guys next week with another video. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want, but again, I'm not forcing you to do anything you don't want to do. Bye.